The dog who thought he was a detective. Max was not an ordinary dog. He was a golden brown terrier with big ears and a tail that never stopped wagging. He lived with 10-year-old Emma and her parents in a quiet neighborhood. But Max believed he had a very important job. He was a detective. Every morning, he wore his red collar and a tiny badge Emma made for him. "Good morning, Detective Max," she would say, giving him a treat. He would bark once, his way of saying, "Case file open." One Tuesday, Mrs. Green from next door couldn't find her favorite hat. "It's pink with flowers. I wore it yesterday," she said, worried. Emma told Max the case, and he sniffed the air like a real detective. He ran to the garden, nose close to the ground. He followed a trail past the roses, under the bench, and stopped at the hedge. There, he found the hat, but it was full of twigs and feathers. A bird had taken it to build a nest. Mrs. Green laughed. "Well, I guess nature needed it more than me." The next week, Mr. Lee said his sandwich disappeared during lunch. It was on the table, then gone in 2 minutes. Max put on his thinking cap, a small paper cone Emma drew eyes on. He checked the kitchen window, the floor, and even smelled the trash can. Then he looked up. A squirrel sat on the windowsill, holding half a sandwich. It had jumped in, grabbed the food, and escaped through the open window. Everyone clapped. "Great work, Max." But Max's biggest case came one rainy afternoon. Emma couldn't find her blue notebook, the one with all her school drawings. "I need it for class tomorrow," she said, almost crying. Max barked 3 times. This was a code red mission. He started in Emma's room. He sniffed under the bed, behind the bookshelf, and inside her backpack. Nothing. Then he went to the living room and followed a wet paw print on the floor. Wait, a paw print? But Max hadn't been outside. He followed the trail to the back door. It led into the garden. In the muddy grass, he saw bigger paw prints, and they weren't his. Max realized something shocking. Another dog had been in the house. He barked loudly to get Emma's attention. She came outside and saw the footprints, too. They followed the trail around the side of the house. Behind the shed, they found a shy black dog named Rocky. He was chewing on the corner of Emma's notebook. "Oh no!" Emma cried. "Please don't tear it." But Rocky wasn't mean. He was just lonely. His family moved away, and he had been living behind the garage for days. Emma took Rocky home, cleaned the notebook — it was a little dirty but still usable — and called animal control. A kind woman came and promised to help Rocky find a new family. "She said she needs love and a backyard," Emma told Max. That night, Emma gave Max a special medal made from foil. It said, "Best Detective and Hero Dog." He wore it proudly while eating a double portion of kibble. From then on, he didn't just solve small cases. He also helped lost animals, with Emma by his side. They put up posters, asked neighbors, and even made a lost and found pets board in their garage. One day, the principal visited their school. He said, "Emma and Max have helped find 4 lost pets this month." The whole class clapped. Some kids wanted Max to be their pet detective, too. At home, Max lay on his favorite rug, paws crossed, looking at the stars through the window. Another quiet night, but never too quiet for a dog like him. Because in Max's mind, every rustle in the bushes could be a new mystery. And he was always ready. Lost phone, new friends. It was a sunny afternoon in July. Emma was visiting the big central mall for the first time. She wanted to buy new headphones and a phone case. Her favorite music helps her study, but her old headphones were broken. She took the escalator to the 3rd floor. The mall was full of people, families, teenagers, and tourists. Music played from the speakers, and stores had colorful signs. Emma felt excited and started walking fast. First, she went into Tech World, a shop with phones, tablets, and earphones. A salesperson named Ben smiled at her. "Hi there, can I help you find something?" he asked. "Yes, please," said Emma. "I need wireless headphones." "What kind? For sports, travel, or studying?" Ben asked. "For studying and listening on the bus," Emma replied. Ben showed her 3 pairs. "This one has noise cancellation. It blocks outside sounds." Emma tried them on. She pressed play on her phone and listened to a song. "The sound is clear," she said. "How much are they?" "They're $80, Ben said. "That's a little too expensive," Emma said. Ben nodded. "We have a cheaper pair for $45. They're good for daily use." Emma tried the second pair. The sound was not as strong, but still nice. "I'll take these," she said. Ben put them in a small box and walked to the cashier. While Emma was looking at phone cases, she put her phone on the counter. She chose a blue case with stars and paid with her card. "Your total is $52, Ben said. "Thank you," Emma said, putting the bag in her backpack. But when she left the store, she realized something terrible. "My phone is gone," she whispered. She checked her pockets and backpack. Nothing. She went back to the shop quickly. "Excuse me," she said to Ben. "I think I left my phone here." Ben looked behind the counter. Is this yours? Yes, thank you so much, Emma said, feeling relief. Ben smiled. No problem. Always check your things before you leave. Emma took her phone and said, You're very kind. I was so scared. Just then, an announcement came over the mall speaker. Attention, please. A green backpack has been found at level 2. Owner can come to information desk. Emma remembered. That was her backpack. She had taken out her wallet, but left the backpack near a bench while trying on sunglasses. Oh no, my backpack is missing too, she said. Then said, Don't worry, let's go to the information desk together. On the way, Emma told him her story. I'm a student from Spain. I'm staying in the city for 2 weeks. At the information desk, a woman named Ms. Lee greeted them. Is this your backpack? Yes, thank you, Emma said, opening it. Everything was inside, her book, water bottle, and passport. Miss Lee said, We check lost items every hour. We also call security if needed. Emma felt grateful. You saved my trip. She wanted to say thank you, so she bought a gift card at the front desk. I'd like to give this to the staff who helped me, she said. Ms. Lee smiled. That's very thoughtful. Later, Emma sat in the food court and wrote in her journal. Today, I lost my phone and backpack, but I found kind people. She added, Asking for help isn't weak, it's brave. That evening, she sent a photo to her mom. It showed her new headphones, her backpack, and a note that said, Lost and found equals love and kindness. Her mom replied, I'm proud of you. You stayed calm and spoke up. The next day, Emma returned to the mall not to shop, but to say thank you. She gave Ben and Ms. Lee small postcards from her country. You made my day better, she said. And for the first time, she didn't feel like a tourist. She felt like part of the city because kindness speaks every language. Building our dream house together. It was summer, and the Johnson family decided to build a small house in the countryside. They didn't want to buy one, they wanted to make it themselves. Dad was an engineer, Mom loved design, and their 2 kids, Leo and Mia, were full of ideas. They saved money for a year and finally bought a piece of land near a lake. The first week, they drew plans on paper. We need 3 bedrooms, a kitchen, and a big window in the living room, said Mom. Leo wanted a secret door in his room. Mia dreamed of a treehouse part on the roof. Dad laughed, but said, Let's see what we can do. They started with clearing the land. It was hot work, cutting tall grass and moving stones. All 4 wore hats, gloves, and strong shoes. Teamwork makes the dream work, Dad said every morning. Next came the foundation. Dad and Leo mixed cement while Mom and Mia placed the blocks in lines. It took 3 days and everyone was tired. But when the base was done, they danced around it like it was a birthday cake. Then walls began to rise. They used wooden frames because wood is strong and eco-friendly. Dad taught the kids how to measure with a tape. Always check twice, cut once. Mia wrote numbers on each piece so they wouldn't get confused. One afternoon, it started to rain heavily. Water got into the half-built walls and made the wood wet. "Oh no, will we have to start over?" asked Leo. Mom checked the wood and said, "Don't worry, we just need to dry it and protect it next time." They built a temporary roof from plastic sheets and poles. "It looks like a giant tent," Mia said, laughing. Even in the rain, they kept working, sanding wood, painting doors, and planning windows. Weeks passed, and the house slowly looked real. They installed windows together, one by one. "This one faces the sunrise," said Mom, placing it carefully. "And this one lets us see the stars at night," added Dad. For electricity, they called an expert named Mr. Reed. He helped them set up solar panels on the roof. "The sun will power your lights, fridge, and even the Wi-Fi," he said. "We're using clean energy," Leo told his friends proudly. Plumbing was harder than they thought. Pipes didn't fit, and one leaked during testing. Water sprayed everywhere in the kitchen. But after watching videos and asking advice, they fixed it step by step. At last, it was time to paint the inside. Each person chose a color for their room. Dad picked light blue, Mom chose soft yellow, Leo picked green like the forest, and Mia picked purple with star stickers. They sang songs while painting and got paint on their noses. The front door was special, dark red with a brass handle shaped like a sun. On the last day, they all held the handle together. "Ready? 1, 2, 3. They opened the door and stepped inside their new home. There was no furniture yet, but it didn't matter. They sat on the floor and ate sandwiches they had packed. "This is the best meal ever," said Mia, smiling. "We built this with our hands," said Leo. "No machines did it for us." That night, they slept in sleeping bags in the living room. The wind whispered through the trees, and the moon shone through the big window. No one could sleep, they were too happy. They told stories, laughed, and planned a garden for next spring. A month later, they invited neighbors to a housewarming party. They served lemonade and cookies baked in their new oven. One neighbor said, "This house feels special. It's full of love." Mom smiled because every nail, every wall, every window has a memory. Years later, when Leo and Mia grew up, they still visited. The treehouse part was now a reading corner, and on the front wall, they kept a photo. 4 people holding hammers, covered in dust, smiling wildly. It said,
Built by the Johnsons with sweat, laughter, and love.